And when we push the conversation around college access, well, we know some students can't complete a FAFSA. We know some students, their stories are very different. And so really we want to make sure that school counselors and college access partners focus on supporting immigrant and undocumented students.
There are additional students who are at risk, who have needs, and so that's when we looked at the undocumented immigrant population and realized there's nothing out there to train counselors and how to support them. That's when we came up with this.
We're very excited. We have 3 very strong panelists. The first panelist is Juan Garcia for the ACT Center for Equity and Learning. The second one is Carolina Valdivia, who founded My Undocumented Life, which started off as a blog. And the third panelist is Jen Park, who is a student at Harvard. And similarly, he saw a need with resources, and so he started a website, Higher Dreams.
It was pretty difficult, and it was kind of like an up and down situation. I would say the more that I sort of learned what it meant to be undocumented and the different limited opportunities that come with it. Of course, there was the pretty big challenge of not being able to legally work at the time, but then also learning that you can't apply for federal financial aid. And then also at the time, we didn't have the California Dream Act.
In high school, going through the college application process was really confusing and daunting, and in a lot of ways it was really isolating. So coming out of the process, having been a successful applicant, I thought that the best way to pay it forward was to just share what I learned in a website.
The most important thing that counselors need to know is that students have rights, and there is opportunities for them, and how they can help them is making sure that they have access to the right resources.
So counselors they're the warriors, they're on the front lines, they're the first responders, so they are the ones who have to field all these questions. So it's very important to equip them with as much information as we can.
Definitely counselors play a very important role for undocumented students. They've had a tremendous impact on my own experience, and I would say for them moving forward and continuing to work with undocumented students is always trying to figure out different ways that they can be supporting undocumented students.
The first thing to recognize is that you are not alone. There are undocumented students in your situation. There are allies, there are administrators, guidance staff that are there to support you, and that's, I think, the first thing to recognize.
It's one of our favorite conferences, and coming here, it's been motivational and inspirational because we kind of get the energy to go back and do new things.
Having CesCaL has been extremely helpful for even just us, for even getting just teachers, counselors, and undocumented students in the same place, having a safe place where we can come together and be able to share our experiences, the challenges that we're encountering. It's been amazing.
Well, this is very important. I think that the counselors attending today will learn about resources, they'll learn how to connect with each other and build that allyship, because even though you're working with students, sometimes you feel alone. And so knowing that there's somebody else out there that can connect you with this information is great.
I think for me, CesCaL is important because they really provide workshops and learning opportunities that a lot of times us as counselors don't always have access to. Beginning with supporting LGBTQ+ students, but then also now supporting our undocumented students. So I feel like they are more on the cutting edge when it relates to professional development for school counselors.
I think being able to talk as an attorney with the counselors and educate them on the different options and the rights of undocumented students and their families was really important, and we received great feedback, so I'm really excited about that they learned a lot.
So CesCaL has brought together some individuals who are experts in the field, or people that have dealt with the students that are here in those situations. And so for us to be able to come together and talk about the issues that these students face in the venue of CesCaL's conference, I think it's a perfect venue.
Well, there's a lot of things that I want to go back and do. One of them is the knowledge that I need to find the time to continue to check in with my students and not just do the crisis counseling, but to have that ongoing check-ins.
We focus a lot of times on our students and the resources that are out there for them, but and we forget about the parents. And I think some of the parents are afraid of allowing their students to go to that second step and take on higher education.
Because we need to educate ourselves to be able to better serve all students. By educating our students, we're basically creating better citizens and awareness and so forth for people to be able to seek higher education.